was going to touch on the college games real quick. Who you got this week upcoming? A&M sitting at 5-0, Texas sitting at 3-2, I think, or two. What are they? 3-2. They lost to Ohio
Yeah,
State and Florida. I know they got two losses. I think they're 3-2.
I think they're bad and they're shit. I think that's what they are. Yeah. And so
I
yeah,
really
so
think,
sorry.
I really think Arch Manning would make a great tight end. Like, man, he looks like a tight end when he starts moving around. It looks like he could catch the ball over the middle and just run and be a solid tight end. He can't throw the ball. Like, I don't think he's a quarterback, but as long as he is their quarterback, I think they're going to struggle. They are 3-2. Yeah, they beat, I don't remember who they beat. Two cupcakes, I think, and then I don't remember who their third win was against, but they lost to Ohio
Doesn't
State and
it doesn't really matter. Their playoff hopes are absolutely dashed. I mean, there's no chance they're making it. It's not going to happen. But
oh yeah, they beat take that back. They beat three cupcakes: San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston. So that's the three wins. They've lost to Ohio State and Florida. So when they played real teams, they've lost. They play number six Oklahoma this weekend, and they're going to get beat again, in my opinion. And A&M plays Florida, who just knocked off Texas. I think A&M gets to 6-0 at Kyle Field, and I don't know what the score is. I don't I Florida actually looked pretty good this past week, but it was against a Texas team that's struggling. So I
yeah,
think A&M wins.
I don't know what I think about the score. I don't really think I have a take on that, but I think we're just rolling and we're just in a really good spot, both physically and mentally. Team morale is looking up. Everybody's just kind of on board with this mission. Mike Elko looks like he's the perfect fit so far. So I think it's just going to go with a win and just leave it at that. Not hope for anything
The
more.
offense the offense got to get rolling sooner in the game. They have well against Auburn they didn't really play that well. The defense has been really good the past 2 weeks after giving up 40 points to Notre Dame. Obviously, the offense carried them against Notre Dame. If they can put it together, kind of like they did in the second half against Mississippi State, I think that's a real big uh, key to success whenever they start playing some better SEC teams. They got to get both sides of the ball rolling. But right now, that I know they haven't like Auburn and Mississippi State don't scare you on offense. Florida will be a little bit more of a test, I think. So we'll see how the defense holds up there. But the offense got to get rolling sooner in the game. So just quit shooting yourself in the foot with penalties and
That's
turnovers.
a
Like
big one.
if you do that, like especially the penalties at home, there's no reason to commit that many penalties like they have been. They get rolling sooner in the game, put it all together on offense and defense. They should. They play Arkansas next weekend. They should be 7-0. Like if you're a serious team, you should not lose to Florida or Arkansas. So they have a chance to be 7-0 for the first time in I don't know how long. And then I think the real tests start after that. I think they go on the road. I don't know if it's in consecutive weeks or what it is, but I know they got to go to LSU, Missouri, and Texas yet this year. So the 7-0 would be big time. And then you got five more games, and you got a shot to put yourself in the college football playoff for the first time. So it's kind of cool to see, and we'll find out if they can do it this year.
And if anybody has happens to have tickets this Saturday, let me know. I'm currently looking. I'd love to go to that Florida game, so we'll
I
do
will
that.
not be able to go to the Florida game this weekend, and I'm a little disappointed.
Wow.
Uh,
What you got going on
but
so important?
one of our league mates has a little shindig.
Oh,
Uh,
I know he does.
he's
I know
he's
he
getting
does.
he's getting ready for baby number one in a few months. What is it? In a few months, like a couple months.
It's hilarious that you
So,
say one of our league mates and you allude to the husband. Meanwhile, the one that's actually
well, he's.
pregnant.
Does she listen? Like, I was going, I was going for the one that probably listens to our podcast.
That's
But shit, she might
hilarious.
listen. Like I could see the princess rolling to work tomorrow morning and have us tune in. Uh, but yeah, that is kind of hilarious because I didn't allude to the person that's actually pregnant because let's be real, Mike's not Mike hadn't probably done a damn thing.
He,
No,
yeah,
I'm messing. I'm messing. I kid. It's all fun and games. But yeah, I I will not be at the Florida game this weekend.
well,
Probably won't be at any.
obviously, I won't either because if I can make it to that the Mikey, the Colton Mikey baby party, as you put it, I
Yeah,
am going to be there as well.
the
So
C Mike.
the C Mike. Well, that's enough of college and baby talk. I guess we'll get back to what matters, and we'll go ahead and jump back into the league we started this stupid podcast for. Um, what are we on now? We going to go ahead and do some matchup predictions for this coming week
I guess matchups. What do we have left? Matchup predictions and
and bold predictions.
poll predictions. Yeah, that's the two things we got left.
All right.
So let's go ahead
Well,
and hit it. You go from the top of your list.
let's do it. All right.
By the
Well,
way, you were 3-4 last week. I was 4-3. So I currently sit at 17-19. You sit at 16-20. I hit on Justin Fields kind of last week. I said 30 points. He put up 26. I busted on Sean Tucker and JMO predictions. And then what was yours?
and then I said Cam Scadaboo was going to have his coming out party with 35 points. He did not have 35, but he rushed for 60 yards. He caught six balls for 60 yards, I'm pretty sure. So, like, maybe it wasn't a true coming out party, but he's making himself known. And then my other one was what else did I? Oh, I said uh, that Montgomery was going to outscore Gibbs, and then I said he was going to do by 15 points. He did outscore Gibbs only because he threw a touchdown pass, but he did not outscore him by 15 points. So I'll take a half and a half from either of those, whatever you want to put it. But uh, you know, it's all right.
The Montgomery pick was actually really smart. I didn't realize going into the week he's from Cincinnati, so that was a homecoming game for him, I guess. And his sister's paralyzed, so she was in attendance. I guess they did everything they could to let him show out in front of his family by throwing the touchdown pass and everything. But that was actually a smart pick on your part, which it just made sense that he was going to have a good game going back to Cincinnati, his hometown. So good call there.
Oh, thanks. Blind hog,
Yeah,
Uh,
every once in a while we hit, not often.
all
Let's do
right.
better
Well,
this week. Let's do better
let's do
this week.
let's do better. All right. Well, I'm
Okay.
gonna keep my first one simple. Me versus Stahl. Uh, I told you I'm in 7 fantasy leagues this year, and in 6 of those I went 1-3 to start the year. And I said it's all good if I can go 2-1 over the next 3 weeks. Obviously, tidal wave gave me my first loss, so I'm looking forward to these next 2 wins. So I'm going to beat Stahl this week, and that is a guaranteed.
Okay. I got you. A couple reasons because, or will be because of my bold predictions coming up. So I'm not going to go into that. But I got you. I also think Schley is just not, sorry, not Schley. Stahl had the wrong S name there. I just don't, I just don't, I don't even know. I don't even know the words. I just not a fan of your team in general. You're playing two tight ends. Colston Loveland, like, is he even going to play? It looks like he practiced today, but still, what kind of numbers is he going to produce for you? Playing two tight ends. Hey, here's the thing though. Like Flacco coming now to Cincinnati, could Chase Brown produce more as far as catching dump offs from Joe Flacco? He's going to have to get the ball out quick. So could he be a beneficiary of Flacco coming to Cincinnati? Chase Brown putting up numbers, but I
I
still
think
just don't think.
he'll have less of an elevation than the receiving core does, but could be maybe just maybe teams are a little more threatened by Joe Flacco than they are by Jake Browning, so they don't bring the house quite as often, and it just kind of opens up some running lanes.
Yeah. I think Garrett Wilson's got a tough matchup against Denver. I just don't like the two tight ends that Stahl's playing. So I got you, and then I won't touch on my bold predictions just yet, but so that kind of is why I'm not going to talk much about your side right now. So I'll wait for the
Oh,
bold prediction.
can't wait! Awesome. All right,
Yeah,
well then we'll
yeah.
move on.
So
We'll move
most
on.
likely you're going to be 1-5 after this week because if my bold predictions are about you, they're probably not going to hit. So now you're probably screwed.
Yeah, don't make me slip my wrist yet. All right, we'll move on
Yeah.
to yours and Mason's matchup. I have you looking over,
Oh hell.
and I do. I have you only because I don't like any Jets this week against that Denver defense. I think Justin Fields crumbles against Denver. And after that, like the Tampa Bay front for Christian McCaffrey, who's already having struggles running the ball for San Francisco. Um, Judkins versus the Pittsburgh run defense. We thought that it was going to be a run funnel to start the year, and it looks like they've kind of clamped down a little bit. Their defense is actually looking pretty good. So yeah, it's just a few tough matchups. I mean, we'll see because like the ones I just mentioned, yeah, they all have bad matchups, but like if you're gonna bet on anybody to get over a matchup, it would be the likes of CMC or Justin Fields or a Quinshon Judkins. So yeah, um, that's kind of where I'm at. I think that you do have the edge. And I also, on your side of things, have a bold prediction for your team. So yeah, we're gonna
Okay.
leave it on that. So
Yeah. Well, I like where my team is at. I wish Lamar was playing. I'd give myself more of a chance. I don't think he's going to play this week. It doesn't look like it. So I do have some solid fill-ins, like Stephon Diggs, man. He came back to Buffalo and showed out. Ibuka is like that was the best thing I could have done drafting in that rookie draft.
you're welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I guess I don't really mind my side. I think I put up a lot of points this week. I just don't know. Like I got a feeling that Mason's going to keep putting up points and he's going to outscore me and beat me. I'm kind of taking the scared approach here. Like I'm hedging a little bit. Like if I win, like awesome, I win the week. But like if I don't win, like at least I'm getting my prediction right. If Mason beats me, like I'm gonna pick him to win. So at least I get that part of it right. I do looking at this bottom part of his lineup, like is Brock Purdy gonna play? Kareem Hunt is scoring touchdowns, but yeah, it's still Kareem Hunt. Like he doesn't get that many touches in a game. Torrey Horton is he's got potential, but that doesn't mean he's going to always put up numbers in any given week. Jefferson is on bye, like that's a huge help. Jefferson's on bye. If Brock Purdy's out, like he's going to have to play somebody else, like a Calvin Ridley probably, and that you never know where that goes. So I got more of a chance than I originally thought, but I'm still going with Mason.
Next matchup we have is Merch Luck versus Money Muscle. Uh, I actually, who did I have to win this? I think that I had, uh, I had Money Muscle to win it, and it's funny, like Sleeper's only given him a 37% chance to win. Um, you know, like one, Merch is playing both two receivers off of the Chargers, but they're playing against Miami. I don't think they'll have to do. I don't know. That game could go two things. Either the Chargers win handedly and they don't won't have to do much to beat Miami, or the newfound offense in Miami, it makes it a little bit of a shootout. So I could be way wrong about that. But with both of those, um, Jamar Chase comes back down to earth again, I think, against Green Bay. I don't think he goes off like he did last week. Jameson Williams is just, I mean, I like that game and I'll touch on that game a lot, but I just don't think that he'll be a factor. And because of that game, is why I give Zoke the edge because he has Patrick Mahomes in that Kansas City versus Detroit game. Um, and so I like that game. I want pieces of that game. And so if you have pieces of that game, you're probably getting the edge this week. And so I'm just going to go ahead and give to Zoke on this one.
I think what you're saying about the Lions and Chiefs game on Sunday night, yeah, I think Mahomes could. I think they're going to have to play keep up with Detroit, so he could put up some big time numbers. I'm going with Merch. I'm going with Merch. I think the two Chargers wide receivers actually could both go off. I think the Dolphins are going to struggle to contain them. I'm not a huge fan of playing both of those receivers in the same lineup, but I think they both could go off this week. And I think that James Cook on Monday night, he had 4 points this past week. I think they make a effort to let him have a big game. I think he could put together a vintage James Cook kind of touchdown scoring game and put up a lot of fantasy points. Which I never was a fan of James Cook, but damn, he's good. Like he's especially for
He's good.
fantasy purposes. He
Definitely
scores a ton of
solidified himself.
touchdowns and he is good. So the 4 point outing this past week, like if you look at his first 4 weeks, 21, 26, 20, 22, then a four, like there's no way he's not going to go off this week.
Yeah.
So I got Mert.
Sounds good. All right, we're gonna move on to Pigskin Princess versus Sly Dog. I am taking the Pigskin Princess. She's got Kyron Williams going against that absolutely horrible Baltimore defense this year. She has two pieces on the Kansas City side. So, if I'm a believer in Patrick Mahomes getting a boost in points, then I have to be a believer in Travis Kelce and Xavier Worthy also getting a boost in points. So she's got some extra points coming from that side. And then meanwhile, Sly, like I said, his old dog running backs they're declining and they're facing two good run defenses this week. He's got CeeDee Lamb in his lineup currently, but I don't think that he plays, so he'll have to replace him. And if he replaces him, he's already starting the likes of Tyler Algier. And so, the next man up on his bench looks like maybe, I don't know, maybe he throws in Tolbert just and hopes for a piece of that Dallas offense. But yeah, I'm going to go with Pigskin Princess on this one.
Yeah, I got Princess over Schlydog. The CD Lamb's not going to play. Like he's not going to play. I think you touched on it with Algiers already in there, and you're going to have to throw somebody else in there for CD Lamb. Like you're going to be throwing a dart and hoping something happens. Kamara got injured at practice today. You got to hope he plays, otherwise you're down another piece. So I think there's just too many question marks on Schlydog's side. Drake London will obviously be inserted on Pigskin Princess's side into one of the spots. So I think she's gonna go ahead and make it 3 wins in a row, I guess. I don't know if she scores as many points as she has been, but I do think she gets the dub over Flato.
All right, moving on to the next matchup, we have Tidal Wave versus Dino. And I am picking Dean for the second straight week. He's got that Matt Stafford and Devontae Adams stack going against that terrible Baltimore defense. Uh, and so I think that there's going to be points coming from there. Josh Jacobs against Cincinnati is that he might be the running back. He might be the running back one on this coming week just because Cincinnati's running defense is terrible. And if Green Bay can just play solid defense and run the ball, I think that's how they'd prefer to win anyways. So I think between those different things, Sam Darnold, probably him and Seattle and Jacksonville will probably be a pretty fun back and forth game too. So Sam Darnold as your QB2. Yeah, I think Dean just kind of takes down title because at the current moment, title right now has Kendrick Bourne still in his starting lineup. That's not going to be a thing again. I sure hope not. He doesn't have anybody on his bench other than his recently picked up Kalani Vidal. Um, Rico Dowdle, I don't know how much he keeps that work. I don't even know what Chubb or Hubbard's status is, but Chuba should be coming back. So I don't know. I just like Dino this week. I just simple as that.
Oh boy, this is actually tough, and it shouldn't be tough because my opinion on these two teams is one is really good and one is not that good. But for some reason, I'm struggling to pick here. I got Title, and it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. I think Dean has another good week. I think Title just barely outscores him. I don't even know what the difference is. I got a feeling that Title barely outscores him, and I think this could be a fairly high scoring matchup. Jonathan Taylor against the Cardinals defense, I think Jonathan Taylor keeps going off. I am like you said though with Chuba, if he's back, Dowdle won't get as many touches, and then there's not as many options on Title's bench to plug in because Jordan Mason is on bye, but I still think he squeaks by in a fairly high scoring matchup.
Makes sense. All right. Next up we have C Mike versus Goonslick. I am taking C Mike again, Kansas City versus Detroit. So now we're talking about the Detroit side of the ball. He's got the golf to St. Brown's stack. He has Bill Krosky Merritt came alive last week. I think that's got to roll a little bit. I think Washington would be pretty stupid to not see what they have in their electric running back after he basically just proved it in in a game. You touched on earlier, Travion Henderson against a pretty bad New Orleans run defense with only Ramondre left on the running back chart. He's got to see more opportunities, and so he should be able to do something with it. The other side of the ball, other side of the matchup, Brees Hall against Denver. Like I said, I don't trust any Jets this week against that Denver defense, so that's already a knock against Goonslick. And then his best player in Josh Allen, you just said Monday night they'll probably just feed the ball to James Cook over and over and just whoop on that Atlanta defense. So Josh just might not have to do too much there. So yeah, I think the win goes to C Mike. And I'm alone again. We'll see if one comes back here in just a second.
Am I back?
You're back.
Cool. I don't know what you all said. My internet's crapping out. I don't know. I got C Mike over Goon. I think, yeah, the Lions stack has a big week. I also think what Mike pointed out earlier is he's been putting up points. Even though he's 1-4, he has been putting up points. I think this is the week he puts up points and gets the win. I'm not going to say anything else because I really couldn't hear what you all said, so I don't want to repeat too much. But I think Bill is the man now in Washington too, so I think that helps out. Who we got left? Is that all of them?
We have one more, Louis versus Greg. And
Oh, give me Louis.
yeah,
Jay Louis from best ball. Ain't
you
even no
know,
reason to talk anymore.
I can't
I'm sorry,
believe
Greg. Your team, man. Your team, Gregory.
I actually
I wonder if
I
Greg
don't
listens to us. Do y'all think Greg listens to us? Do you think
I
Greg listens?
actually picked Greg earlier in the day to win it, and then I
Oh
just
no,
pulled up
you
the
did. You
matchup.
picked him last week against me, and that did not work out.
Sorry, Greg. I'm trying. I'm trying, Greg. So yeah,
Let me go.
I'm gonna go Louis.
Let me just go take one gander real quick, just to see.
I think it was
Gibbs
just
could have,
that
Gibbs could have a
it
huge
was the
week.
Gibbs. Yeah.
Yeah, Gibbs could have a huge week.
But then I saw
Gentry
that
could have a huge week.
that's basically what I saw earlier. But then I looked just now, and Louis got Montgomery, who's just been just as good as Gibbs. He's got Nakua versus Baltimore. He's got Shaheed, who's been playing pretty good as of late. So yeah, I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna choose the one who's been winning, and that's Louis. So
I still got Louis. Maybe I caught Greg in the worst of times for his team because now that I look at it, it's yeah, he's got some good matchups for Gibbs and Gentry. Like they could pile it on, and then T with Joe Flacco's throwing it now, and Hassan Haskins. It is his job, and they're at Miami, so he could get quite a few looks. I could see Greg having a better week. Rashad Bateman's still not a great play unless he catches like a long touchdown pass or something. But you definitely have a better lineup put together this week than what you had last week against me. So you're giving yourself a better chance. I don't think you have a chance against Jay Louis. I still got Jay Louis. Too much talent on that side of the matchup.
Too
He's
much
rolling
talent.
Gino out there. He's rolling Gino out. I
Well,
guess. I don't know if he has an. I guess he could play one of his other position players, but he's going Gino against Tennessee. Which, if Gino's going to get right, this would be the matchup for him.
that's true. All right. Well,
That's the last matchup.
yeah, that concludes all this upcoming matchups. So good luck, everybody. As much as luck has to play in this game, you all need a little bit of it. So awesome. Well, we got left. Got some bold predictions. You got them lined up or what?
I'll I'll throw one out there. For tomorrow night's game, like AJ Brown has been awful. Devontae Smith has had 2 good weeks, 2 bad weeks. If they're going to get right, tomorrow night is the time to do it. And so I think AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. I know it's in New York, but I don't think the game location really matters for this. Like if they're going to get right, tomorrow night is the time to do it against the Giants. Both of those receivers, I think they both catch touchdowns, and I think they both go for. Shoot, I could see AJ Brown catching a ton of passes tomorrow night just because they're going to force feed him. I could see that happening. So I think he has more receptions than Devontae. I think Devontae has a really long touchdown. So I think they both score a touchdown, and I think they score close to 25 ish each. I think Goddard has been stealing touchdowns. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty bold. 25 each.
If they both
So
score
I was
25,
first. I was first
I'd
gonna.
I'd love to know what Jalen Hurts' score is going to be.
Well, here's what I'll say. I think that Goddard's been stealing touchdowns, and so I think that's been hurting them even more. Jalen Hurts has been rushing for a lot of touchdowns, at least the first few weeks. I can't remember exactly everything, but I think Jalen Hurts force feeds AJ Brown, ton of receptions, gets a touchdown. I think Devontae has a really long touchdown. I was first going to say both over 20, but I think they both have 25 ish. So that's my first one. I think that helps you out because that's going to lead you to what we predicted as far as you winning this week against who do you got this week? Um,
Stall.
Stall. Yeah, I think you have a big game tomorrow night from your Eagles stack to start the week. Go ahead and throw one out there. I'm going to see if I'm going to add one more.
Yeah, I pretty much convinced myself going over the match predictions. I'm gonna go with Josh Jacobs finishes as the running back one this week, and I think they just give him all the rocks. And the thing that Josh Jacobs is prone to do is when he goes off, he goes absolutely bonkers. So he's gonna get 3 touchdowns this week.
Okay, that's a yeah. Anytime you predict somebody to score 3 touchdowns, that's pretty bold. But I could see him doing it because he's really good in Green Bay. Like he's been really good in Green Bay, and there are games where he scores multiple touchdowns. Um, I'm deciding if I'm going to throw something else out there. I could just stop right there. I don't want to do too many. Do you got anything else?
Yeah, I've also got something predicted for tomorrow night as well, also involving the passing game of Philadelphia. But it's more on the betting side of things. So if any of you guys out there like to bet, I've been falling in love with betting the first touchdown of the game whenever I do this kind of thing. So I hit my very first one, and then it's got a little shaky since there. But anyways, maybe speaking it to you guys will speak it into existence. But I have Devonte Smith, and this will be a weekly thing. This will be one of my bold predictions is predicting the first touchdown of each Thursday night game. But I've got Devonte Smith as the first touchdown of the game tomorrow night. I had trouble deciding between him and Dallas Goddard, but I eventually went Devontae Smith, so put it on the books.
Well, I like that pick. I
Uh,
need Devontae. If I have any chance of defeating Mason this week, I need a big Thursday night out of Devontae. Let's see. Does he have anybody playing tomorrow night? He does not, the way it looks. So I need just a big Devontae game. I think think part of the reason I'm going to throw one more out there. I think part of the reason that Mason beats me also is because Brian Thomas Jr. did have he is getting closer to breaking out and returning to form. I think Mason, Brian Thomas Jr. Seattle probably scores quite a few points against Jacksonville, I would say. And so I think Jacksonville has to throw it a decent amount. And I think Brian Thomas Jr. has a breakout game on Sunday. And so that really, really puts a damper on my hopes if he breaks out for whatever, however many points that may be. But I think I'm not going to go into any specific details, but I do think he has a breakout game because he finally looked like he could catch the football again on Monday night, which was a struggle for him the first few weeks. So Brian Thomas Jr. breakout game, huge AJ Brown and Devontae Smith games tomorrow night. I think that's going to be my go-tos for this week.
Cool. I love it. Well, yeah, I mean, guys, I hope y'all are all just still as engaged as I am. I'm very locked in this week because, like I said, in a lot of my leagues, I am 2-3, 1-4, and so this is just a very, very, very pivotal week for me. Like I said, I needed to go 2-1 over the next 3 weeks. Some leagues I picked up my first win, some I got lost. So tomorrow night's gonna set it off, and yeah, so hope they are still locked in. Hope you are still locked in to listen to these episodes every week, and yeah, keep throwing out the questions and comments. And I even had an outside of the league text me saying, "Hey, I found your video and you have comments turned off. Why do you say to comment on the video all the time? You have comments turned off." So I'll be sure to keep the comments on this time, see if we get any random posters. So
I actually saw the comments were hidden too. I thought it'd be cool if they were on because I was like, I don't know who all watches this crap. Like it probably not as many people as I think. Like I doubt everybody says in this league they're watching it, but they're probably not. I hope they are. But all I'm gonna add is that I'm in 4 leagues. I started 0-2 in all 4 leagues. In 3 of the leagues, I'm now sitting at 3-2. So I've won 3 consecutive weeks in 3 of the leagues. I'm sitting at 3-2 in 3 of my 4 leagues. The other one, I'm currently at 0-5. It's a struggle. We won't touch too much on that league. But even if you're 1-4, nobody's 0-5 in this league. Even if you're 1-4, you still got a shot. You still got a shot. So it's possible 8 of the 14 teams make the playoffs. If you're sitting at 1-4, you put together a little winning streak of three weeks in a row or something like that, get back to 500 and you're right back in it. So don't ever lose interest. Keep the faith. I hope y'all are listening. I hope y'all are enjoying. We went way longer tonight than I thought we were gonna. We were gonna cut it off at one video for 40 minutes. We're now working on an hour 20. So I hope y'all listen and have enjoyed it. We're gonna keep bringing this to y'all every week. And yeah, that's about all I got. Good luck in week 6. Unless you're Mason, I hope you have bad luck and I can get a dub. But other than that, that's all I got.
sweet, horns down. Thanks and gig 'em. Y'all have a safe weekend. All right, deuces.
Adios.